In the top stories, Nevis Premier says plans still underway to develop renewable energy. Honorable Mark Bransley offers condolences to Cuba, and we get an update on the work being done at Park Heights St. Kitts. The details on these stories and more after the break. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Barrage. Premier of Nevis Honorable Vance Amory says the move by the Nevis Electricity Company Limited to add a new generator to its aging fleet will not stand in the way of the Nevis Island Administration's pursuit of renewable energy. Amory cleared the air regarding the company's purchase of a 3.85 megawatt engine during a signing ceremony on the weekend. That ceremony formalized the agreement for provision and installation of the almost $5 million generator. He said this is not any conflict on the part of the government or of NEVLEC in respect of renewable energy. It is, as a matter of fact, a preemptive act to ensure that were renewable energy to continue to be delayed because of unforeseen circumstances, that the people of Nevis are in fact provided for under this arrangement. Minister Amory said with manufacturers agreeing to have the set installed and commissioned by the middle of 2017, it is felt that NEVLEC and the government have made the right decision at this time. Minister of Foreign Affairs Honorable Mark Bransley has conveyed his condolences to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cuba, His Excellency Bruno Rodriguez Parilla, on the passing of former President of the Republic of Cuba, Fidel Castro Ruz. In a letter dated 28 November, Minister Bransley said, "It is with heartfelt sadness that I learned of the passing of former President Fidel Castro Ruz, your beloved leader and statesman. On my own behalf and that of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and by extension the government of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, I extend sincere condolences to our Cuban family and friends in this time of grief." Minister Brantley described the late Castro as a true patriotic and iconic leader. His resoluteness and boldness of character, coupled with his passion for the Cuban Revolution, will long be remembered, he said. The foreign minister highlighted the close ties between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of Cuba, and underscored how the Spanish-speaking country has helped not only St. Kitts and Nevis, but many Caribbean countries through its social and economic policies. On Tuesday, Park Heights St. Kitts invited members of the media on a special tour of the property. Shara Flanders was on site and filed this report.
We're here at the soon-to-be-opened Park Hyatt St. Kitts site, where management and staff are giving members of the media a special tour for a sneak peek just before the official opening. Directly situated on Banana Bay on the southeast peninsula, the Park Hyatt St. Kitts family met with the media in the conference room for a press briefing shortly before the tour began. During the briefing, Vice Chairman of the Park Hyatt St. Kitts, Mohammed Asaria, gave a breakdown of the property's progress. Asaria explained that he was quite excited to provide an update on what he called, quote, the jewel of the Caribbean. ZIZ understands that about 850 construction workers are working on the development. General Manager of the Park Hyatt St. Kitts, Julian Moore, explained the purpose of inviting the media on the special tour.
Obviously the press is the medium by which we can speak to the people in both islands. So obviously it's very important for us to keep everyone on the island updated with the progress of the hotel, where things are going, where we're at with recruitment as of now, and also talk about the methods that we've been using to obviously extend opportunities to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We want to extend the information that's going out into the community and make sure we're doing it directly. The hotel's due to open next year, so it's an exciting time ahead for the island. We're going to start the promotion of that opening over the next few months, so people are going to start hearing more about articles about what's happening on St. Kitts. There's already a lot of buzz in the industry about this being one of the most dramatic and exciting openings for the Caribbean.
Moore also gave an idea of what the public can expect from the luxury hotel's opening.
I think the exciting thing for the island is the public will now be exposed to something new for this island, which is the luxury experience. So what we'll be doing is we're introducing new culinary standards, so people will be able to come and see what sauces made from scratch are like, the food combinations with the different style, an approach to freshness and healthiness, locally sourced food where we can find suitable providers, and overall an experience that not only shows people what it's like to be looked after, but expresses it in a humane and genuine way. And basically you end up with a very authentic, caring experience when you stay with us.
During the tour, Moore also explained that many of the building's structures were inspired by Kittitian sugar mills, influencing the usage of locally cut stones to recreate the sugar plantation visual. One particular stone structure that grasped the attention of spectators was a sugar mill that was designed for yoga sessions. The tour included a walkthrough of the Great House in Stone Barn, which is an all-day indoor and outdoor dining restaurant, the Fisherman's Village, which offers an ocean-to-table dining experience for both lunch and dinner. The Sugar Mill Spa and the Sanctuary will feature 9 treatment rooms and offer an extensive range of facial and body treatments, and a reception hall with a central presentation kitchen that caters to private events and provides an indoor and outdoor experience. At the end of the tour, the management explained that the over $130 million development is not just a 5-star hotel, but a luxury hotel that aims to leave a lasting impression. The Park Hyatt St. Kitts is scheduled to open around the Easter season in 2017. And now that the tour is over, we now have a better understanding and a more intimate feel of what is to come from Park Hyatt St. Kitts. Reporting from the construction site of the soon-to-be-open Park Hyatt St. Kitts, I am Shaira Flanders for ZIZ News.
As the management of the soon-to-be-opened Park Hyatt St. Kitts continues to pay keen attention to education, the management team is currently holding hospitality introductory training sessions for hospitality students at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College and persons in the hospitality section of the People Employment Program. Julian Moore, General Manager of the Park Hyatt St. Kitts, said that persons are often intimidated by well-known hotels and many question if they are suited to work there. He said that everyone has the ability to work in such an industry.
The beauty of hospitality in the modern world is that everyone is good enough. It's about the sincerity of the individual. It's about the passion of the individual, and it's about the ability to interact and communicate with others. And I think if we can actually find those people who have those inbuilt skills, those ones they were born with, and then you can utilize them in the best fashion possible that makes them happy and obviously flows on to making the guest experience unique, then that's something truly special.
He said that the sessions open doors for persons to choose their future career.
So the main thing is obviously to get that door open so people can see inside, and once they can see inside, they can then choose the pathway that's best suited for their own individual personality.
Mr. Moore said that bringing a luxury brand to the country provides an opportunity to further develop the hotel industry and stressed the importance of educating persons about the luxury brand.
One of the beauties of our business is we need suppliers. We need people who are ready to take that step up and say we want to elevate the quality that we provide and deliver to a luxury level. Now, to do that, there needs to be understanding. And obviously to get understanding, you need education. So obviously the best platform you can ever enter into is a relationship with the educational facilities on the island and the educational institutions.
The General Manager said that this step in education would hopefully lead to another long-term relationship with CFBC and provide an opportunity for the hotel to assist with other educational needs on the island as they relate to the hotel industry. After the break, unique event planned for Disabled Week of Activities and International Gospel Acts prepare for a gospel explosion. We'll tell you more when we come back. Able-bodied persons will be given the opportunity to experience the challenges of disabled persons on Wednesday with the hosting of a Walk in My Shoes exercise by the Association of Persons with Disabilities. President of the association, Anthony Mills, in a national address, spoke of what can be expected during the event.
On Wednesday, we have a Walk in My Shoes exercise. This exercise asks volunteers to agree to be blindfolded, use a wheelchair, or wear earplugs, so as to be able to understand what persons with disabilities go through.
Mills spoke of the importance of the simulation exercise.
We have reached out to the ministers of government and the opposition who we hope to have take part in this exercise, and we hope that this exercise would raise awareness and start a new national conversation and bring about change.
The Walk in My Shoes event forms part of the week-long celebration of International Day of Persons with Disabilities. It is being held under the theme Empowering Persons with Disabilities Reduces Liabilities while Improving Their Quality of Life. On Tuesday, the headline act of the upcoming Gospel Explosion concert held a press conference to give the public a taste of what's to come this Friday. The concert will include artists such as Tehila Band, Nikon, the Duo Brothers, and will be headlined by 3 international acts, Sean English of Guyana, The Anointed Veil of Jamaica, and Atabuafo of Africa. Headliner The Anointed Veil spoke of what the public can look forward to at Friday's concert.
This is another level in my musical career. It's the launching of my album as well. It's entitled Blood of Jesus. This event basically is another level of ministry, from music to evangelism to preaching to worship, everything that has to do with what God has placed in our lives as human beings. Those are some of the things that we're looking forward for people to receive on the night.
One of the MCs for the concert, Evangelist Jerry out of Jamaica, expressed his thanks to the New Birth Tabernacle and other churches in the Federation who came together and opened their doors to the organization.
People must understand the power of unity and togetherness, right? Not because it's not your church, it's not your pastor, or it's not your group, meaning that you're not going to support it. Support it for the cause of the nation. Bishop Williams never knew anything about Redeem Promotion or myself, but he recognized that God is doing something, and he came on board. He piloted us, he braced us, and Sunday we did a motorcade. All his members roll out their vehicle, their own gas, and they touch the road right round this island.
The acts for the Gospel Explosion 2016 are expected to travel to Nevis on Wednesday, where they plan to do a meet and greet session as they promote the event. In an effort to lift school spirit and showcase creative and positive energy, the George Moody Stewart School is carrying out its first ever Spirit Week from November 28th to December 2nd, 2016. According to a statement, Spirit Week also serves as an opportunity for parents and students to demonstrate the school's motto of I am, I can, I ought, I will, particularly on what has been termed Wannabe Wednesday. On that day, students will dress in outfits that depict the careers that they are interested in taking up as adults. Spirit Week has been added to the school's calendar as a fundraiser to construct a new building, as teachers and students are currently being temporarily housed at the St. Johnson's Community Center. Coming up, Guyana security forces to step up their presence during the Christmas season. The details when we come back.
This year, unwrap the season's best with the perfect gift from Quartz. Whether it's thrills and excitement, shiny convenience, or elegant style, we have it all at the best prices and with ready finance too. Unwrap your best gift ever, only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Guyana President David Granger says the country can expect more boats on the ground this Christmas season and beyond to assist in crime fighting. Here's more.
Speaking directly to the perception by a few that crime is on the increase, more so gun crimes, President David Granger said much is being done to clamp down on criminal activity. He assured that Guyanese will have a safer Christmas and beyond with more boots on the ground.
But we have been making a lot of progress in preventing other forms of violence by limiting the amount of firearms, by ensuring there are more patrols, and in fact on the 15th of November the police force launched a patrol, so they launched an exercise, so there'll be more boots on the ground between the 15th of November and the 15th of January, just to keep you safe.
The president was speaking with reporters just after the GDF's route march to mark the culmination of activities to mark the Army's 51st anniversary. The head of state stressed that while measures are being taken to crack down on criminal activity across the country, there is a lot of interpersonal violence which authorities cannot always anticipate or prevent.
One of the most intractable has been interpersonal violence, such as we saw with the killing of that young man and the implication of somebody in the diaspora who might have masterminded this type of criminal violence. We cannot always prevent or anticipate. That is the reason why, as you know, in October we set up a mounted branch in Blackbush Polder to ensure that there is greater safety. And the Chief of Staff announced this morning that there are frequent aerial surveillance patrols. So there's been no report of piracy for several months. So we are working, we are succeeded in controlling some types of crime, but we cannot always control interpersonal violence, where a husband burns down a wife's house.
Hinting at acts of piracy and other cross-border crimes, such as the smuggling of guns and cocaine through Guyana's porous borders, Chief of Staff of the Ghana Defence Force, Brigadier George Lewis, said the Ghana Defence Force has increased its operational posture to secure Guyana's territory.
There has been an increased twofold of bordering patrols. We have also increased our surveillance of the EEZ with patrols every 2 weeks. Those patrols would have contributed significantly to reducing criminal activities both at sea and on land.
The Ghana Police Force say the most recent statistics show a significant reduction in crime for 2016 compared with previous years. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Early results indicate that Jovenel Moïse has been elected as president of Haiti. More in this report.
Provisional results suggest Jovenel Moïse has won the presidential election in Haiti. The political novice has won a majority in the first round, avoiding a second-round runoff, according to the Electoral Council. The 48-year-old also came first in the initial vote in 2015. Together we will change Haiti, he says. Together we can work to allow all Haitians to live better. The results suggest Moïse won 55.67% of the vote in the November the 20th election. 12% of the voting slips were set aside because of irregularities and were not included in the count. The vote was scheduled for October the 9th, but was postponed again after the Category 4 Hurricane Matthew tore through the Caribbean nation. The results follow a week of protests and unrest led by the supporters of the former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide's Famille Lavalas party.
Coming up, upcoming discussions to focus on debt relief for Greece. The details when we return. Comments from European Commission Finance Chief Pierre Moscovici are being seen as a clear hint that Eurogroup ministers meeting on December 5th will discuss debt relief measures to help Greece cope with the aftermath of its debt crisis. David Pollard reports.
Greece's port hub Piraeus at a standstill amid strikes over reform, but Greece's economy is moving, and for the second quarter in a row. With a bailout review in progress, a rise in GDP of 0.8% gets more than just a nod of approval from creditors.
If we are capable of concluding the review, then we must absolutely open positively debt talks. And I think we are very close to that.
It was a clear hint that when they meet on December the 5th, Eurogroup ministers will discuss the debt relief that Greece so badly wants.
Without a debt solution, we won't be included in quantitative easing. Without quantitative easing, we won't be able to regain market access by the end of 2017, or at most the beginning of 2018.
And we've got very strong and good progress.
But even with Eurogroup backing, it could be a tough ask. Germany is still likely to oppose, and perhaps not the only one to do so as Europe braces for elections.
Ultimately, at some stage, direct debt relief is going to be necessary. It's just a case of who's going to be brave enough to do it and how are they going to justify it to the electorate, because we've got to remember anything like this has to pass through all other Eurozone parliaments, and that is not a politically easy thing to do.
A spat between the creditors themselves could also lead to slow-motion progress. The IMF at odds with the EU over the tougher budget targets it wants. Greece increasingly desperate for action to remove the €228 billion debt that still hangs over them.
Up next in sports, Prince Harry hits the cricket pitch in Grenada, and Brazilian footballers die in a Colombian plane crash. Stay tuned.
This year, unwrap the season's best with the perfect gift from Courts. Whether it's thrills and excitement, shiny convenience, or elegant style, we have it all at the best prices and with ready finance too. Unwrap your best gift ever, only at Courts, bringing value home.
And in sports, Prince Harry took to the cricket pitch in Grenada on Tuesday to raise awareness for Youth in Action, a new initiative by Laureus Sport for Good and the Jason Roberts Foundation. When a change of bowler was called, Harry stepped up but took a while to get the right lane and length as the first two balls were called wide, and he then watched as one of his deliveries was smashed to the boundary. The event on Monday gave Harry the chance to meet and engage with some of Grenada's young sporting stars and the inspiring figures who volunteered their time to coach them. He also greeted a group of school children who had come to see him carrying Union Jack and Grenadian flags. His visit is part of a Caribbean tour this week on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. A plane carrying 81 people, including a top Brazilian football team, has crashed on its approach to the city of Medellin in Colombia. Colombia's civil aviation body says only a few people survived the crash that occurred on a mountainside.
At least 5 people have survived a plane crash over a mountainous area of Colombia, officials say. 81 passengers and crew were on board the aircraft when it came down at around 10 p.m. local time. 3 players from Brazil's Chapecoense football team are confirmed to be among those taken to hospital for treatment. 2 crew members and a journalist were also initially reported to have survived, but 1 person later succumbed to their injuries. The plane crashed some 30 kilometers from Medellin, where it was due to land. Local Mayor Federico Gutierrez said, "It's very sad news. We express solidarity, and we continue to manage everything here. It's very sad, it's tragic." The cause of the crash is unknown. The Chapecoense squad was travelling from Brazil via Bolivia for the first leg of the Copa Sudamericana final, the South American equivalent of the Europa League. The competition has now been cancelled.
Spanish rivals Barcelona and Real Madrid have come together to pay tribute to the victims of Tuesday's tragic plane crash in Colombia. Real Madrid observed a minute of silence for the victims of the crash. Barcelona followed suit before their own training session on Tuesday. Spanish rivals Barcelona and Real Madrid have come together to pay tribute to the victims of Tuesday's tragic plane crash in Colombia. Real Madrid observed a minute of silence for the victims of the crash. Barcelona followed suit before their own training sessions on Tuesday. The football child sex abuse scandal is one of the biggest crises in the history of the Football Association, says Chairman Greg Clark. More than 20 ex-footballers have made allegations of child sex abuse, with 5 separate police investigations and an FA review launched in response. Clark said he was angry that 90 society was sleepwalking and were part of that problem. He defended the FA inquiry from criticism it should be much wider. On Monday, MP Damian Collins said an inquiry is needed to establish if there was a cultural problem in the sport rather than an internal review looking at football officials and what clubs knew and when. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines. Recapping the top stories. Navy's Premier says plans still underway to develop renewable energy. Honorable Mark Bransley offers condolences to Cuba. And officials tour work being done at Park Hyatt St. Kitts. And that's the end of the ZRZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Verge. Goodbye.